Hi, did who cares? Here's my review of Spider-Man No Way Home, the more fun stuff edition. Yeah, that's a bit of mouthful. So, before going into this, yet there could be spoilers because technically this film been out enough, long enough as this is a release with some extra, bonus, reduce scenes into it. So I will mention spoilers, but I won't mention, much of the deleted scenes, I guess. So, before going into what I like, what I dislike, I tell the stories quickly, just in case you haven't seen it or know what I mean. The story is it takes place from far from home, and basically I don't know who Spider-Man is. So Spider-Man finds it tough to the point that he goes to Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange does a spell, and it goes wrong that multiple villains from Spider-Man, the two Spider-Man movies, basically the Andrew Garfield and Tom Maguire movies come to his world and it's up to him to stop it. So, what I like about this film, what I thought this film, sorry, I thought this is amazing. When I say in my review, if you watched it, my spoiler for review, I love this film. And it's special, this film is special to me because it's one of my favourite reviews I've done. Yeah, I've done two videos before that on my top five films, on top five shows of the year. But this is my first pop review I've done. And back then, I was careful to say, what I like about it because at the time, it is one of the biggest films of the year. And I didn't want to be that asshole who want to spoil the whole plot because this is the thing too, it did sold out to older cinemas for the first 2 weeks. So, yes, I don't want to be that asshole. Now, I think the time been long enough. And since the wheelies come out with 11 extra minutes of juicy scenes, yeah, I can talk about a bit more. What I like about this is it's basically the biggest problem we had all the MCU Spider-Man films is that there's no origin story. It just jumps straight in there. Again, I didn't moan at the time. I don't moan at the time, no why? Because at the time we had two Spider-Man franchises with the same backstory with the Tobey Maguire and what you call it, the Andrew Garfield movies. After all that, and especially after the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which to me I don't think it's that bad to be honest with you. I think the problem is no it's then that film came out, people started noticing all the flaws from the first film. But I thought, me personally, I thought the second one is a better film than the first one on the Amazing Spider-Man. But I do review it on that one day. So after all that mess, it made a deal with Disney, with Marvel basically, to put it in the MCU. And instead of doing the whole origin story again, it jumped straight in there in Civil War. And there's no backstory. But what this film fixes and what this film done, basically telling us that the three Tom Holland movies has been one big origin movie, building up to him becoming Spider-Man, him realizing power, his responsibilities. Why he said the quote, "Great power comes great responsibilities." And with the tragic death of Aunt May, which is so fucked up and so fucking sad. Yeah, if now he's by himself because there's nothing to. Elle now don't know who Peter Parker, is Spider-Man, and Elle who knows Peter Parker don't know who he is. Which again could come to like a future big storyline for Tom Holland Spider-Man. And another thing I like was they set up, and I hope they put it in the next movie. If I think they are going to do the next movie, obviously, but his next set of movies is near the end. He tried to kill the Green Goblin. Basically, he got stopped by Tobey Maguire, and there's no him realizing that he almost murdered a guy. Yeah, I know he did kill Aunt May, but the thing is, taking someone's life does change you, or even attempting to take someone's life does change you. And I find there's no, yeah, it's a problem, but at the same time, I can see it going past that towards, the future movies. especially did a hint of the Venom, train, the Venom thing is now in the MCU, so you could get to over that and go to more Dark Force. Especially he's by himself, and basically the whole cast is amazing. Will Dafoe stole the movie, and I'm being serious now. If obviously Marvel can't do it, it can, but it's really hard to do it. Probably make him as a new villain in the future. But if if DC plays smart enough, especially they're going to reboot the whole DC timeline, I would love to see him as a villain in the DC comics. 'Cause he is an amazing villain, and he stole this movie. Now, that's my little thing of the whole movie. I love it. It's amazing. This is my fifth time saw it. Twice in the cinemas and three times on my Blu-ray. Amazing film. Now, the juicy scenes, what the whole point of this release is, with the 11 minutes of extra scenes. Be honest with you, most of it is pointless. I'll be honest now, most of it is pointless. They didn't need to be in it. Like, again, not going to tell detail every single scene, but there's scenes like then what we call it, Spiderman, Peter Parker get questioned by the police. Did the extended scene on that? It's like, okay, you don't need the extended scene on that. You don't need it. Then you got again, um, what do you call it, the Tom Holland brother thing. I get credit. The Tom Holland brother scene is pointless, but at the same time, I want to kept him because the story behind it. No, I mean, he wants the story behind the Tom Holland brother cameo. It is quite funny. Then, basically, what to me personally, what makes these scenes, you know, good and fantastic is basically most in the end, where you get more of scenes with the three Spider-Mans, which again I don't know why I cut out in the first place because it's only like a minute at a minute or at a 2 minutes. I don't know why I cut it out because I thought those we had amazing connections. And one thing I actually like about this, and I give them credit for, it's thanking the fans, I guess. Like, before the film starts, you got the three Spider-Mans, the actors who played this, you know, Toby, Andrew, and Tom, basically saying thank you for the fans before the film starts. I thought that was a nice little touch for the fandom. Now, that's around it. Now, my biggest problem with this, and again, I'm not calling the movie before people attack me. I'm not. I think the movie is amazing. My biggest problem is the way it handled the release of this. I think it handled in a way that they are greedy assholes. And I'm thinking, what do you mean? Well, then the Blu-ray face came out all announced. You might hear the story. I think most people have. It advertised the juicy scenes on the Blu-ray disc. It's not like what is a mistake. Every single website have it. So you can't just say, oh, it's Zavi, you know, put the one picture up, so it's their fault. No, every single website have the same image firstly of advertising, the juicy scenes on the Blu-ray. And then it came out, as you know, it's not on there. So I moved it and put on this new cut. Again, I'm not bothered to do that because there was examples, like, for example, Alien took the fucking mick of that. But the big fucking difference with Alien is how I let Alien get away, even though it do take a mick with the auditions. And same with what I call it, Blade Runner, is they first came out, it didn't advertise, and obviously, back then it's whatever. But fine, let's go to even more, more lately. Not more lately, but no, I mean 10 years, 10 years ago, with his The Lord of the Rings, the Feds at the Wing. It did advertise as this a theatrical cut that all you're getting. I made a month or two later, I made an extended cut. Right? At least they advertised it, and also at the same time, at least they took stuff out and then released it on the cinema. At least they told people what you're doing. That's the big difference. With this feels like what Sony done with the Spider-Man 2.5 or Spider-Man Black Edition, where it added extra 5 minutes. Which again, to me, personally, I think is a bit scummy. especially what I did the time frame too. And again, I'm not bothered a release this film on the theaters. I'm not. I think it is a big enough film to get a release, and I made that I saw it again. What I said, I made that I saw this again. The movie is amazing, but my point is, this has been less than 9 months since this came out, and already we got a different version on the theater. A different version, and also at the same time, there's another thing too. I most of some of the scenes, not most of the scenes, some of the scenes wasn't paused out. A it tell CD, CD, what do you call it, green screen on one of them, awful green screen on one of them, and the one or two with weird CD. It didn't even pause up properly. Again, if you're gonna release it and charge money for price to go, like there's another thing too. It charge for priceless to go see this, and you can't even be bothered to pass it up. I'm sorry, that is scummy. And this another thing too. We all know it's gonna happen in the next 2 or 3 months before Christmas. They gonna make this version out on Blu-ray and digital download, which again, people bought 9 months ago. I know people will say, "But how it Lord of the Rings?" At least they told you that that's the big fucking difference with this. In their tone, no one. At least actually it released it, but it told people to go be doing scenes, took them out, and then try and resell it. That is not a good way to do it. And I think in the last couple of months, and again, I don't think it's Sony's fault or Marvel's fault, but if I read reports right, again, this could be wrong, that it's Sony are in charge of the physical and on the on the what called releasing it as media. I think they are in charge of that. If it's true, Sony done a bad job, and especially with a couple months ago with Morpheus, and did a video on Morpheus you also watched virtually with Film Theory, basically saying that they could get sued for what he done basically with Morpheus without advertising with the Spiderman and moving it, you know what I mean? Again, with common sense, Spiderman could be in the film. We know that. He's not going to be the main star. It's called Morpheus. But the thing is, you advertise Spider-Man stuff in the background, and then people go see it. It's all gone. Basically, that's false advertising. And what you've done here with the Blu-ray with, No Way Home, you said you're going to do your scenes. Again, you move them and try to resell it as a complete new, audition. Even though most of it, not most of it, some of it is not paused out. Yet there are a couple that are paused, but to say that it's not paused. So again, I'm not attacking the film. I think the film's good, but I think I can't prefer this method. Yeah, I know other companies done the same thing, but I think this is the way I've seen it. So, we'll get to my final thoughts. So, here's my final thoughts on this movie, or this edition of the movie. It's an amazing film. It's a fantastic film. Yeah, there's some flaws with the story. I've got to mention this before. Why Sandman, went on, Green Goblin's side. That made no sense. But again, I let it go because I still think the whole story is still fun. And sometimes stories don't have to be perfect to enjoy it. And I very enjoy this film. And I love the actor, I love the acting too, and it's a fun movie. If I base it on the whole movie itself, in my overview, it's still 9 out of 10. But I had to knock 1 point down to 8 out of 10, just because this feels like a pointless audition. I'm sorry, I'm not attacking the movie, but I just feel like this is a bit greedy what it's done. Yeah, it's nice you've got a message beginning to say thank the fans, but at the same time, you still talk to fans full price to see this version of the film, which has still been on the Blu-ray deleted scenes. I'm sorry. And you most probably in a couple months' time go and release this. Again, I could be wrong on that, but we all know it's probably are going to do that. Try to make people double dip on a Blu-ray. Yeah, I know it happened before, but I think this is the way I've seen it. I'm sorry. So it's to me, it's 8 out of 10 this version. Again, amazing film to see, and that's it. So my question of the day is: what are your thoughts of just the way he handles this? I like to hear your, opinions, or I like to hear what you thought of No Way Home. I like to hear that too. And also, if you like this review, please leave a like, and if you want to see more in the future, please subscribe to my channel. This has been the Boy Who Cares. See you on the next one.